So I'm at the rubber. I'm trying out this new microphone. I know it's working, so hopefully the sound will be good. So I'm gonna do I'm working and painting. Painting. It's fun. So I decided, I keep going back and forth. I decided I'm going to do a video that's just kind of like an update on what's going on with me, and because I've been kind of out of it in the last few days, and then I'm going to do a few different videos on different subjects. I decided I'm going to pull out all of my notebooks that I have right now going on, and maybe do a few, see what kind of subjects I have in there, because I always write down all sorts of things when I have ideas. And maybe I'll do a few videos on different subjects. So ever since Saturday, I've just been kind of, I don't know, going back and forth. In between the worlds, and I understand that this whole twin flame journey is a spiritual awakening. And a spiritual awakening it's just that. And I am understanding that this journey is that you go back and forth on this journey because you're changing. All of your beliefs are changing. Everything about you is changing. And I keep flipping. Like, I go from one moment into like total flipping mode. What does flipping mean? What does that mean, flipping? Like, I'll go into where I start getting completely overwhelmed and feeling like I have to run away. I have all these grand ideas of what I'm going to be doing. I feel like I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something to expand myself, to make things go. And then I have this other part of me that says you don't need to be doing anything. You need to be letting go. Just let go. And then I feel like, okay, well, I need to be doing that. I need to be letting go. And then it starts getting into like this whole circle of pressure that I'm putting on myself, that I'm supposed to be doing something. And I feel like the answer is in letting go of all of that. But how do you let go? And then there's moments that I feel like I'm completely let go and in the moment. It's like flipping back and forth in between the two worlds. And I'm working here with my brother, and we've been having some really good conversations here. I like working up here on the top deck because he comes and works next to me for a while and goes back and forth, so it's really fun. We've had some really good, deep conversations. He also said that it's been a long time since he's had such deep conversations and working things out, and we're talking about some important things. Speaking of, here he is. And so yesterday I feel like I'm so blessed. That's my brother. I feel like I'm so blessed to have this job and to have these people in my life, and to be able to come here and paint. And I can even do the videos while I'm painting. It's like, how did that even come to be? I'm so like privileged and blessed. I feel like I want to say thank you, but I don't want to be too sappy about it. But I just feel totally overwhelmed with like thanks and appreciation that I have this opportunity to come here, and I also, also with all this flipping back and forth. Yeah, a lot of times I get home and I have all these grand plans. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to build my Etsy shop, I'm going to hook it up to my videos, I'm going to make shorts. I have all these plans that I'm going to do, and then when I get home to do them and I sit down in front of the computer, I start like my brain starts shaking. And then I feel like also with these videos that I need to make strong videos, and that because I know that our, abracadabra, like I said in previous videos, our words create our realities, and a whole bunch of things that I feel like my on the twin flame journey, like my twin, but I don't want to call him my twin. It's just not. It doesn't even feel right. But it is in kind of a way, like we're the same in ways. Like I get him. First of all, I feel like he's speaking to, he's been speaking to me more telepathically. I can feel his presence in me more since yesterday, kind of. Like he's with me. But at the same time, I feel like he's fading. Like something, because today's Wednesday. I haven't seen him since Saturday. What is that? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days. After a while, when you don't see somebody, they start fading away. And I feel like I'm kind of on my own, like, hey, go do it yourself. And nobody owes me anything. And nobody can do it for me. And then even if somebody does do it for me, like I was having a conversation with my son this morning when I brought him to school. Well, maybe it wasn't a conversation, but I was thinking to myself that in order to even gain respect of your children, then it's a matter of doing it yourself. If somebody else comes in and I know what we were talking about. We were talking about getting a license out, and that when somebody doesn't have a license and they're like married, they're dependent on their spouse to drive them here and there and take them where they need to go. And it like builds a dependency. And also a place of where you're not standing up and of disrespect or something like that. Because I was thinking about me making a good living, and I was thinking, well, that sometimes I feel like it's big for me. I can't do it myself because I want to be able to fly around the world. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do. I want to be able to allow my children to go places that they want to go, and take them places and buy them things that they need. I don't mean overindulgence, but I mean like enough to be able to experience life without worrying about, where the money isn't the issue. The issue is the what do I want to do and how can I do it, and not, do I have money to do it? And then you're always, everything that you do is mugabal. Mugabal means like it's dependent or like it gets smaller according to however much money you want. Like if I have a grand idea, and I always have ideas, I'm like full, I'm like idea person. And being able to take my ideas and make them come into reality without thinking of whether I have the money to do it or not, allowing myself to dream all the way. And do, like I was saying before in a different video, that I want to do something big. I feel like it's time to do something big. I want to do something big with my life. I remember when I went to the States and I was living in the States. I know I'm paying attention to this. When I was in the States and I was and we opened a business. My ex-husband and we opened a business, and it was fun. It was fun. It was exciting. I got up in the morning and I was excited about my life, and I had all these things I was going to do and all these things that I was doing. And during the time we had a moving company, so I also opened a box warehouse site because we already had the boxes, and then I was building all sorts of things. I was selling online. I would go to the secondhand stores and buy purses and things like that, and I was selling them online. Like, I did what I wanted to do, and the money wasn't an issue. I flew to Israel when I wanted to. The kids wanted, they wanted something, or I wanted to decorate my son's room. the money wasn't the issue. It was the what do I want to do. That was, that was where I put my focus. And I want to be in a place like that where I can just do what I want to do. It's not like I need a whole bunch, but I do want to travel around the world. There's so many different places that I want to go and visit and see. And ever since I was a kid, I wanted to go to Egypt. Egypt isn't far from here. I can go to Egypt. It's all about having time, that's one thing that book, The Science of Getting Rich, talks about. Making a life that I want to live, not where I have to get up in the morning and it's like, it feels sometimes like I don't even want to get out of bed. Well, actually, lately, and see, this is abracadabra. Like, how much do I tell it like it is, and because I'm making these videos and I want to be completely honest and tell how it is, but at the same time, if I keep on beating the same drum of how it is, then I'm keeping that same thing alive. So I guess what I need to do is change the how it is, and that way I can talk it. But what comes first? It's like the egg and the chicken. Like, what came first, the egg or the chicken? So maybe I should start changing my language and paying more attention to my language. Not maybe, I should definitely. But at the same time, be truthful here on really what is going on. So this morning, I got up. Both of my boys are going on a school trip today. So yesterday, I went and got them some snacks for the school trip, and it was a big to-do this morning. It was my son had to be at the high school early, and the high school is like 5 minutes away from him. They're going on a school trip to Jerusalem all day. They're getting home at 8 o'clock at night. So I got them enough food ready, and my younger son, I don't know exactly where they're going, but my ex-husband is also going out on that trip with him, so that's nice. He'll have his Abba there with him. And but because the day was so out of order in the morning, I forgot the dogs because we were in a hurry to get out. We got out like a few minutes late, and he got there on time anyway. I forgot my food, but he was so sweet, my son. We're talking about my son. I forgot my food, and I told him, oh no, I forgot the dogs. And I said, oh no, I forgot my food too. And so he had this bag of bamba he gave to me, and he was reading on the calories, and he said, Emma, there's 400 calories there. He's always bugging me that I don't eat enough. I eat enough, but he's always bugging me that I don't eat enough, because he's really watching he works out, so he really watches his weight and stuff. I'm really proud of him in that. He's doing really good with himself. And so he said, Emma, he looks at it and he says, Emma. He calls me Emma. Emma is mom in Hebrew. He said, Emma, he looking at the calories and he says, there's 400 calories here. That ought to be good for you. He said, there's 400 calories, and then afterwards you can have a cracker, and then you'll have all your food for the day. He's like making fun of me that all I eat are crackers, and because I'm vegan. So it's funny. He's always worried about me, but it's so cute. It really is cute. So, and then I felt really guilty about the dogs. And then I got here, and this spiritual awakening, you go back and forth in between, and sometimes you don't even know what's going on. Like this morning, I started bawling again. I don't know why. Yesterday, that's what I was going to starting to tell. Yesterday, I went after I got home, I sat down, I started trying to do stuff on the computer. Sometimes I can see that the flow will open up, but sometimes I sit down next to the computer, and everything that I seem to want to put my focus on to do seems futile. Like, well, why am I doing this? When I start putting my art up on Etsy, and then I lose faith, and I'm like, who's even going to look at this? I like my art, I really do, but my art sometimes is like, it's not like pretty art, it's funky art. Sometimes like like my father says, it's grotesque. I don't think it's grotesque, but it is kind of out there a little bit. Some of it. And some of it has like really deep meaning to it. So I was thinking, yesterday, so when I sometimes I feel like I just need to cry. I don't even know why. I don't know exactly about why, but yesterday I went to Naklamud, and I think it's to let out, like you would say, let out steam, or to let out pressure. So yesterday I went to the valley there in Naklamud, and I had like, I just cried and cried and cried. And if you really ask me why, I think that on this twin flame thingy, at the spiritual awakening, at some point you're just by yourself. Nobody else gets it. Like, I mean, not that nobody gets it, but whoever's not on this just can't get it, can't grasp it, can't understand exactly what it is that you're going through, because it's so, I don't know, it even sounds crazy. I was thinking, when I was talking to my brother about it, and I told him, if somebody would have told me this even a year ago, I think exactly a year ago, I would have thought that they're crazy or obsessed, but when you go through it, first of all, there's no denying it, because it hits you like a ton of bricks. Like, what is this? And then I think that even a year ago, if somebody would have, I would have, somebody was talking crazy like that, I would have thought that they're crazy, maybe. So I feel like it's like there's nobody really to talk to about it, so you kind of go inward more. And I think that's part of the nature of the spiritual awakening too, because at some point there's no one left to talk to except for yourself. And then you really have to go inward and do all the work. One thing that my twin was telling me that I need to work on is my self-esteem. And I've been giving that a lot of thought, because I know that my self-esteem in the last 10 years since I left my marriage, I moved from the States to Israel. That was a huge, huge, huge move. And I've done things. I don't understand this. The way that I feel lately is kind of like I'm sleepwalking. I feel powerful, and I feel like in the like 5D, everything is already done. But then in the 3D, something has to happen for it to actually come into this world. But how do you do that? And then I feel like, okay, it's something that I need to do. But then I realize, wait a minute, it's not doing. It's not about doing. It's about letting go and being. But how do you just be? What does just being look like? It looks like this. And maybe just being is also part of that, going through the crying, I was crying yesterday. That's all part of it, because I felt like yesterday when I was crying, first of all, I felt like I needed it. And I needed to go into the valley and cry, because I can't cry at home. I can't, where am I going to cry? I can cry at, you can cry at home, but you can't really, the crying that I did yesterday was like all the way down to the deepest place of, letting all the sorrow out. And maybe that's all part of it. You know, that's part of what needs to happen, because thinking to myself, what is this weakness? Like, I need to be doing something to get my life on track, or you know. And then I realized, well, wait a minute, everything is exactly as it is. So if I'm having to go and like have a really good cry, then that is what needs to happen at that point. And I feel like when I cry, it lets the weakness out. It allows whatever it is that I've gone through. It's like I go through a whole bunch and then I cry it out. I go through a whole bunch and then I cry it out. And it feels like it's burning out the weakness when I cry. So I think at some point, one of the things that I feel a real draw to do is build my site. Just so I have a site. I don't have a site now, because I know that I want to do something with a site. I just, see, that's the thing, I don't build it yet because I don't know exactly what I want to do yet, but I can start building a site. I can build myself a logo, and I guess, you know, something might open up to me as I'm going along. That's how things work out, you know. I feel like I need to make some kind of stream in my life for things to open up on. So let's say if I want more revenue, then I need to open up some avenues for the revenue to come in on, you know, some possibilities. Because I feel like with the meditation and you know, you vibe what you want, but you also have to create some kind of way for what I want to come into my life. It can't just appear, you know, come here on a magic carpet and appear. I need to do something for in order to allow whatever it is to come into my life. So if I'm just sitting on my hands, nothing's going to come. But if I start moving, then things will start opening. It doesn't, you know, just start moving. And then as I move, things will start opening up to me in the different directions. We'll see. So on Friday, this Friday is going to be the last meeting in that course that I was doing for the building a workshop, and I haven't built a workshop. And I was talking to my friend yesterday about this talk that I went to, a lecture that I went to, that was called the gold threads, and I might have talked about it in a previous video about gold threads in your life. Like he sat down, he was looking at the jobs that he had ever done, and none of the jobs were exactly what he wanted to do, but for some reason he was able at each of one of those jobs to stay for a while, because they gave him some kind of something, and that allowed him to stay, some kind of satisfaction. They answered some kind of need of his. And so one of the jobs had the need of, you know, of meeting people. So he was a taxi driver, and he got to meet people and talk to people, and that was something that he liked. So he went into each and every one of the jobs that he had done, that he had managed to stay at for a while in his life, and see what it was that allowed him, because, you know, being a taxi driver isn't the greatest. I mean, for him, could be for somebody else, but for him. And but he saw that he liked the talking to people, and that's what allowed him to hold that job. So I'm thinking on going in, like the workshop is not coming together, because every time I go, I have inside of me internally, you know, if it was 100% cooked, then it would already be done. but there's something in me that doesn't want to do it. And the reason is because I think that I'm feeling like it's going to hold me down or hold me back or something. And so I think I'm going to go in and see and do like within myself, figure out what those golden threads are. You know, like one of the things is that it has to be something that has to do with like spirit and bettering yourself. Another thing is I like working with people, but then I also have that I don't like feeling obligated. So I'm feeling like maybe a lecture is better than a, not obligated, but let's say like, so, like if I do a workshop, it's going to have to be week after week after week. And I don't know that I want to sell up front a whole bunch of my time. I like my freedom. I like having choice. So I'm thinking maybe a lecture or some kind of something more along that line, or something that is, I don't know. See, whenever I think about what is it going to be in the 3D world, like what is it going to be, what am I going to do, then I start getting into the flippy mode. But when I just leave it and allow things to flow, then things come out better. I'm going to decorate that. I'm going to draw. It says "Ochel Barbazim," which is duck food. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint like some ducks and some food and some other things. So we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. So thank you for watching.